All right, so here we are. Um, Actually, before we do all of this, we need to go and grab phpMyAdmin. So I'm gonna go to my browser. I'm gonna open my browser here, and I'm gonna go and download phpMyAdmin. phpMyAdmin download, and we can just go to. I think this is the site. Actually, we need to grab MySQL database, my SQL download. Alright, so I'm gonna go here, my SQL downloads. I need to grab community. So I'm gonna go to community downloads. And then my SQL installer for Windows, which is just gonna install everything that I need for me. And of course, alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna install or download the full version of this. Alright, I'm gonna just hit download here, and I need to sign in. I'm just gonna say no thanks to start my download. Alright, so this should take a few minutes. I'm gonna pause the video. Alright, so there we go. So we're gonna get this window. So basically the developer default, it includes MySQL Server and then MySQL Shell, right, and the router and the Workbench, SQL for Excel. Maybe we do not need that for now. MySQL for Visual Studio, MySQL connectors to .NET, Java, C++. Alright, and there's also some tutorials in there. Right. Anyway, I'm gonna go with the default. I'm just gonna hit next here. I do not need MySQL for Excel and connector for Python at this point, so I'm gonna just hit next. Yes, I'm satisfied with that, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit execute. Alright, so this is gonna take quite some time. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pause the video, and then I'm gonna come once this is finished. Right, so this is finished, so I'm gonna hit next. Let's just see. So this is gonna configure the server. I'm gonna hit next, and just next, and I'm just gonna leave everything default here, and I'm gonna hit next. It says use strong password encryption for authentication, which is recommended. Alright, so I'm gonna hit next and set my password for the root password. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm gonna repeat that. So well, it does say it's weak, but anyway, it's fine. So this is for the root. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hit next. And also you can just make sure that every time you start up a machine, you start MySQL Server at the system startup. Okay, and I'm going to hit next. Now we can just execute this. So basically what this is going to do is going to write the configuration file, and then also update your Windows firewalls or firewall rules in case you've got a firewall that is blocking your MySQL. All right, so let's go ahead and execute this. So this shouldn't take well, it does say here it may take a long time because it's just trying to initialize the database. Remember, we've also downloaded like sample databases and so on. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video for now, and then come back when it's finished. All right, so this is finished. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna hit finish and just hit next once more. Normally we can leave everything by default here and just click finish and next, and of course we can check our password. Alright, so there is a connection, so everything looks okay. Alright, it looks good, so I'm gonna hit next and of course just execute this. Basically this is just applying some configs, some configurations, and then so another thing that I'm going to do, I'm just going to look for the command line because I need to create a new user here. But anyway, before we do that, let's go ahead and just see if we can download my phpMyAdmin. So I'm just going to hit phpMyAdmin and let's just go here, and of course I will just download this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and download my phpMyAdmin. I'm just gonna go with an older one. Okay. Alright, so this should take a couple of seconds just to download that. Alright, so that looks like it's finished. Alright, so I will open this file, this folder, and just go ahead and extract it. Oh man, I think I just did a mistake there. Let's go ahead and extract it. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take let's just put this here. I'm gonna take the contents of this and I'm gonna go back to Apache and htdocs. So I've already have a directory called phpMyAdmin here. If you don't have one, then you can create one, and let's just go ahead and paste everything in there. So this is about done. So now we will need to actually restart the server. Let's quickly restart the server. Okay, so it's fine. Now let's go ahead and test this. I'm gonna just quickly open the browser there, and of course I will just type localhost. Of course localhost should be working, but I want to load the phpMyAdmin. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now let's try and log in and see if we are able to. There we go. Okay, so everything seems to be working just fine. Alright, so so PHP is loaded, everything is working fine. Alright, so anyway, that's how we can create our own web server. So we can always create a database, test db. So I need to create a database test db. Let's see if we are able to create a database. Yes, of course, here is our database. Okay, So everything seems to be working fine. Right, so that's how we can set up our own development environment. But one more thing that we must just make sure, just want to show you something. If I try to do this, it actually gives me the the folder, the root folder or the parent directory of phpMyAdmin. So instead I wanted to load this index.php. So just to fix that, we can just go to I'm gonna open the notepad as an administrator. I just open notepad as an administrator, and I will just open Apache 2.4 conf and all files and httpd.conf. Open that, and we're going to look for a certain line here. So there is this line, this one. So what we need to do is to also include index.php. So we can just include index.php, and then we're gonna go ahead and save that. And now we must just restart the server. Restart. All right, so we're good, and let's go ahead and refresh that. So there we go. All right, now it's actually loading the index.html. Okay, and we can also just create a new file, maybe somewhere here, just to test our PHP. So I can actually create a new file. So let's just open this with code, and I'm going to add a new file here. I'm going to call it index.php, and here I'm just going to do php, or actually echo php. How is this? PHP like that, and then echo PHP info. I think it's that in PHP info. Something like that. Alright, so now we can go and test this. Just go, so I'm gonna hold localhost. Can't really remember now how do you print, or is it PHP info, like is in one word or something like that. Yeah, I think it's actually one word, like PHP info. Let's check. Let's quickly check, and alright, so now it does load my PHP 7.4. Alright, seems like everything is working fine. Alright, so we've just set up our own development environment.